Good morning, S.Y.B.Sc. student. I am Gaikwad B.S., Head Department of Botany, K.J.S.College, Kopergaon. Today we are discussing about the S.Y.B.Sc. syllabus, credit-based system syllabus implemented from academic year 2020 to 21. Syllabus contains 2 credits. First credit is of 15 lectures and second credit is of 15 lectures. So total first semester syllabus for paper first, taxonomy of angiosperm and plant ecology, is of the 30 lectures. The first chapter in this syllabus is Introduction to Angiosperm Taxonomy. This chapter includes the definition. We expect the definition of the taxonomy, that is particularly identification, nomenclature and the classification of the plants, as well as the description of the plants, and the what is the scope of taxonomy in the various fields, and why to study the taxonomy, what is the objectives of this taxonomy, it expect in this chapter. And lastly, the importance of the taxonomy in the various fields. So the second point in this chapter is the exploration, then description, identification and nomenclature and the classification of the plants. That is the how the plants are identified, how they are isolated, then how they are given the name, that is a nomenclature according to the ICBN, and how they gets classified according to the well-known system of classification, that is particularly the Bentham and Hooker system of classification. The concept of the next one is the concept of systematics with brief historical background. That is what is the systematics, and then what are the background, historical background. This point is expect to discuss in this syllabus. Then second chapter is that the systems of classification. Justly in first chapter, that is they introduce, that is the different types of the classification system is there, that is in angiosperm taxonomy, that is when we define the taxonomy, there is the one point is the classification. So comparative account of various system of classification, that is there are the different system of classification. That is the first system of classification is artificial system of classification, which was introduced by the Linnaeus, and according to this artificial system, in this system it expect, that is very few characters are taken under consideration, and at that time the limited characters were taken under consideration, and then this system was at that time was rejected. Then after that, and after deep study, then anatomical study as well as morphological study, then all possible characters are taken under consideration, and then well-known scientist, that is George Bentham and J.D. Hooker, introduced the natural system of classification, and in this system, that is maximum characters are taken under consideration, and about 25 years efforts were taken by these two scientists, and then this system was elaborated, this system was introduced, and nowadays for the purpose of theory as well as the practical, this system of classification was taken under consideration. So in this point, we must there is a need, or it must be discussed about the natural system of classification. Then the next system of classification is phylogenetic system of classification, which was introduced by the Engler and Prandtl. This phylogenetic system was based on the evolutionary theory. That is evolution. It may happens that is one group may convert to the next one, or this group, one group is develops from the ancestor. This system says that, but there is proper evidences are not found in this for this system, so this system is not so haven't more value. Then ABG system is there. APG is the angiosperm phylogeny group system is there, which is the internationally discussing group is there, and this internationally discussing group is working on the discussion about the knowledge of taxonomy in between the different scientists, the different workers, and then they discuss on that. Then next third chapter is that the study of the plant families. The study of plant families with reference to systematic position as per Bentham and Hooker system of classification. They expect the salient features, floral formula, floral diagram, and at any 5 examples for each family with their economic importance. Here the Bentham and Hooker system, that is, first of all we must be classify the plants according to the Bentham and Hooker system of classification. Then these system have the different types of the this system of classification have the different types of the ranks, and these ranks must be introduced in this first, that is systems of classification, that is particularly systematics. Then in case of this one, then different types of the class, that is the classification starts from the division, then subdivision, then class, subclass, then order, then family, then genus, as well as the species. Up to the species rank, these all the classification must be there. Then salient features is there. That is, salient features are nothing but the starts from the characters of the roots and ends up to the characters of the seed. Then when we are going to discuss about the roots, that is root, when we are discussing about the root, that is when we are going to discuss about the monocot, then it may be adventitious root, and when we discuss about the dicot, it is again the taproot system is there. So first of all we must concentrate on that. Then when we goes towards the next part, that is the stem, then stem must include, or in the stem, that is the if it is family belongs to the monocot, then it must be the, that is root is stem is the unbranched, as well as it have the presence of nodes and internodes. Such character must be included. Then again when we goes towards the leaves, then leaves have the number of characters. That is the, if the monocot family belongs to monocot, they have the parallel venation in the leaves. But when it belongs to the again dicot, then it have the reticulate venation. Again there is the, in the dicot there is the different types of the phyllotaxy is very important. That is, there are the 3 types of the phyllotaxy, that is alternate, opposite, decussate. Then there are again the, in case of this one, unifoliate leaves, then bifoliate leaves, then trifoliate leaves. The such type of the all characters about the leaves must be considered here. Again in case of the floral diagram, this floral diagram is the image of the exact flower. So it must starts by the aestivation in outer parts, that is the calyx. Then what is the calyx? The calyx is the outer whorl of the plant. It is the green color especially, that is green color is the common, but this color is that is, it is not a throughout, it is not a true, because sometimes the calyx may be petaloid. It sometimes looks like as a corolla. So such characters, that is how the calyx looks like. What is the aestivation of the such calyx? Aestivation is nothing but the arrangement of sepals or petals in bud condition. It is known as the aestivation. It is there are the 5 types of the aestivation, that is valvate, twisted, imbricate, then quincunxial, and lastly vexillary. These all types of the uh, aestivation must be includes in when where you are going to when you are going to draw the figure, that is the floral diagram. Then again the corolla is there. Same thing is happens in the corolla. Corolla is the next whorl of the flower, which is colored, and it plays vital role for the attraction of the pollinating agent for the purpose of pollination. So it must be included there, that is aestivation particularly in the floral diagram. And again the androecium is there. Androecium is the third floral verse, which is very essential, and this third floral verse uh, which is present here, which is male reproductive part. It is made up of the anther, filament, and connective. So if the filaments or anthers are attached to the filament, or they are that is when anthers are joined together, when the filaments are free or filaments are joined together, anthers are free, depends on that. There are the adelphi, syngeny, synantry, such type of the concept must be discussed in this one. Then lastly, at the center of the floral diagram, there is need of the drawing of the uh, TS of ovary, that is nature of gynoecium. That is, if it is monocarpillary or bicarpillary or tricarpillary, whatever it may be, depends on that. Their nature of this gynoecium must be drawn at the center of the floral diagram. Then floral formula is there. Floral formula is very important. That is, floral formula is the indication of the that family particularly. Floral formula includes the flower is the bracteate or ebracteate. The flower have the bract or absence of the bract. Such type of the thing is considered in this floral formula. Then again, flower is actinomorphic or flower is zygomorphic. It indicates by the symbolic indication is there. Then the flower is that is flower is unisexual or flower is bisexual. It indicates by the symbol. And then again the how many sepals are there, that is how many sepals, that is sepals are calyx are indicated by the K, and how many sepals are there, that is suppose there are the 5 sepals, then they are indicated by K5. If the sepals are united, that is gamosepalous condition is there, then it indicates by the bracket. Again, corolla is indicated by the C in the floral formula. And see how many petals are there. Suppose there are the petals are 5, then it indicates that C 5, and if they are gamos petals, then bracket is given to this one. If they are free, then it remains as it is, or there is no need of giving the bracket. Then next one is the androecium. How many stamens are there? Then it indicates by the A, and then how many stamens are there, then it indicates by that. And gynoecium, that is G, and then how many carpels are there, then it indicates, suppose there are the gynoecium have the 2 carpels, then bicarpellary, that is G2. And if the ovary is superior, then line is drawn below to the gynoecium G1. So G below to the G and G2, and if the ovary is the seen carpus, then it indicates by the that is bracket, that is G2. Then if the stamens are epipetalous, that is androecium is epipetalous, then line is drawn from the androecium to the corolla, that is such type of the indication is there. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about the uh, different types of the 8 families are there. That is, first family is the Anonaceae. Anonaceae is the family of the Annona squamosa. In vernacularly, it is known as the custard apple. Then, or the Annona reticulata. This is the custard apple family. So, in this syllabus, in this chapter, we must discuss about the this first family. Then, second family is the Brassicaceae. Brassicaceae is the family of the mustard, Brassica juncea. Then this family, that is all characters, plural formula, and all everything related to this family must be discussed here. Then Myrtaceae family, which is known as the eucalyptus family. So eucalyptus family is discussed in this chapter. That is, eucalyptus is there. Then Syzygium aromaticum is there. Then Syzygium jambulanum is there. These are the different types of the members. Cydium gajava is there. These are the members of family Myrtaceae. So this family, these members are discussed here. Then Rubiaceae is there. Rubiaceae is the family of the Ixora, or the next plant is the Hamelia patens. So these all possible characters which is present in the taken example, these all are discussed here. Then Solanaceae is there. Solanaceae is the next family. This Solanaceae is the Gamopetalous family, and in this Gamopetalous family, then the well-known example of this family is the Datura alba. The Datura alba is the one example. So many examples are there. That is Solanum tuberosum, Solanum melongena, then Solanum nigrum, then Capsicum annum. These are the different types of the members of this family. So all possible characters related to this family, to these members, are taken under consideration. The next family is the Apocynaceae. Apocynaceae is the family of Vinca rugia. This Vinca rugia, this is again the in case of this family, all possible characters of the flower, and then plant of this family, all possible characters are taken under consideration. This is the bicarpellity. It belongs to the bicarpellity. And then next one is the Nyctaginaceae. Nyctaginaceae is the family which is the Apedalous family. And the well-known member of this family is the Bougainvillea spectabilis. So member of this family must be discussed here. Then next family is the family Amaryllidaceae. Amaryllidaceae is family belongs to the monocot. So example is the Crinum asiaticum is there. So this example must be discussed in this chapter, and belongs to this family. Then Creative second have the 15 lectures. The chapter in this fourth chapter is there, that is botanical nomenclature. Botanical nomenclature in this chapter includes the different types of the points, that is concept of nomenclature, the how the plants are named, then what are the brief history of this one, and how the binomial nomenclatures are coined. Then all this information must be discussed here. Then very important thing is that the ICBN is very important, International Codes of the Botanical Nomenclature. This botanical nomenclature must be discussed about the algae, and then fungi, and different types of the plants. Then next one is the ICN, that is the International Code of Nomenclature. Then principles, rules, and recommendations. Then type specimen and its types must be discussed in this chapter. Then concept of typification, then ranks and ending of taxonomy. Justly in the systems of classification, there are the different types of the ranks, and these ranks or ends by the different types of the taxa names. So it must be discussed by this one. Then how the next point is that how the generic name and specific epithets are coined, that is which are the criteria for coining of the generic name and specific epithets. And then next point is that the authority is very important. That is, authority means what? When the plants are named as the genus, then species, that is the first name is the generic name in the binomial nomenclature. The first name is the generic name, the second name is the specific name or specific epithets, and it is followed by the authority. So this authority is the single citation is there, single authority is there. Then double authority is there. That is, if the any one worker has discussed about the name or introduced the name of the plant, but if the second worker has studied on the name of this plant or given the changes to this plant, given the names to the plant nextly by studying the certain characters, then it goes towards the uh, double authority citation. And in case of this double authority citation, the first name is kept as it is, and it is supported by the next authority, then it is known as the double authority citation. And sometimes the multiple authority citation is there. Multiple authority citation means what? That is when more than two persons are working. If the one person has worked on the plant name, but additionally when the more workers works on the name of this plant, adding the certain characters of this plant, then have the multiple authority citation. So it is also very important in this chapter. Then next chapter is that introduction to ecology. First of all, in this chapter, the definition of the ecology is very important. That is, oikos means the center, that is their house, and study of this all, that is when organisms are living in their uh, area, their house, the study of this one is known as the ecology. Then concept of this one, then what are the scope of this ecology must be discussed here. Then interdisciplinary approach of this ecology is very important, it must be studied here. Then the concept of ecology and ecology must be studied here. Then species diversity, then species diversity includes the definition of this one, then concept, scope and types, particularly the alpha, beta and gamma diversity is very important. Then methods of vegetation sampling, that is the different types of the vegetation study is there, that is the quadrat method is there, then transect method is there, and plotless method is there. Then these all methods are studied and discussed in this chapter. Then genetic diversity is that is particularly the definition, then nature and origin of genetic variation, then species diversity, definition, origin of species diversity, and diversity indices, species abundance must be discussed in this one. Then ecosystem diversity is definition and major ecosystem types of the world, that is they may be the aquatic as well as the terrestrial, they may be the artificial as well as the man-made, that is different types of the ecosystem diversity are studied. Then particularly the hotspots of the India, that is what are the hotspot, what is the concept of a hotspot, and which type of the hotspots are there in the India, that is western, particularly the western ghat of the Maharashtra. In Maharashtra it also have the certain hotspot. So hotspots of the India must be discussed here in this chapter, and it is very important. Then ecological grouping of the plants. Ecological grouping of the plants, that is broadly speaking, ecological grouping is nothing but the, that is different types of the groups are there, that is they shows the plant shows the adaptive characters in this group, that is plant when survive in the nature, different types of the area, different types of the region, these are the geographical regions, And when these plants are survive in this region, then they are showing certain adaptive characters, and depends on that these plants are grouped under different types of the ecological groups. That is, they are hydrophytes, mesophytes, xerophytes, and the halophytes. This first group is that the hydrophytes. Hydrophytes, that is, whether you are going to discuss about the internal as well as the external characters, that is adaptive characters. When we are going to discuss about the adaptive characters, these adaptive characters are the external character as well as the internal character. By taking the TS of the plant material, it may be TS of the root, TS of the stem, TS of the leaf. These all adaptive characters are taken under consideration, or the morphological characters, that is the external characters, are taken under consideration, and which type of the changes are found in the plants as compared to the ordinary plants. These all characters are taken under consideration. So first group is the hydrophytes. These hydrophytes are of the different types. That is, hydrophyte is the group of the plants which is found in the water, that is aquatic plant particularly. And these hydrophytes are divided into the different groups, that is floating hydrophytes. First group of the plant is that the floating hydrophytes. Floating hydrophyte means what? The plants, those are totally floats on the water surface, and there is no contact of the root to the base of the water resource or the mud of the water resource. They are totally floats on the water surface. Particularly when we take the example of these hydrophytes, this example of hydrophyte is the Eucornia is there, Piscia is there. These are the examples of, or Lemna is there. These are the examples of this one. And this plant never shows the contact of the root to the base of the plant, that is water resources, or to the mud. So they floats on the water surface, and they travels through the water current. This plant travel to the water current. Then one thing is very important, that is in the hydrophytes which type of the characters are there which helps for the plants to floats on the water surface. Particularly these plant, that is particularly the Eucornia, they have the petiole of the leaf, they have the buoyancy, that is they have the water, that is air storing cavity is there, that is ball is there, and because of that it stores the air in this ball, and because of that these plants floats on the water surface. Next group of the hydrophyte is that is floating but rooted hydrophyte. Floating rooted hydrophyte means what? That is the example of this floating rooted hydrophyte is the Nymphia. That is, roots are in contact with the mud, in contact with the base of the water resource, and the parts of the plant, they are floats on the water surface. So they are known as floating rooted hydrophytes. That is, lotus is there or Nymphia is there. So what are the adaptive characters? That is important adaptive character in this plant is that the in case of this plant, their mechanical tissue which wants to be support to the plant, they are not properly developed, or they are poorly developed, because there is no need of giving the support to the plant. So mechanical tissues are not properly developed, and then stem is so weak. Then leaves are covered by the waxy coating, that is water drain away when they are in contact, they comes in contact with the water. And then last group of the hydrophyte, last type of the hydrophyte is that submerged hydrophyte. That is third group of the third parts of the hydrophyte. Third group of the hydrophyte is the submerged hydrophyte. Name itself indicates that the plant material never comes above the water surface. They always remains below to the water surface. That is well known example of this hydrophyte is that Hydrilla. What are the adaptive character? That is the mechanical tissue again not properly developed, they are poorly developed, and leaves are very small. They are not spoils, they are not destroyed. So they are very small leaves are there. So they are submerged hydrophytes there. Then mesophytes is there. The next group of the ecological grouping of the plant is the mesophyte. Mesophyte is the group of the plant which are found in the moderate supply of the water. That is, the water is not more, water is neither less nor more. In this moderate supply of the water, the group of the plants are surviving. They are known as the mesophytes. These mesophytes are showing the different types of the all characters. Which type of the characters? That is, senescence is the very important character. Senescence means what? When there is the particular season, that is, water is not more in this in the soil, then this plant drain away, this plant drop away the leaves. So this senescent concept is there. Root system is properly developed. These plants are some plants are shade loving. So these are the very important characters are found there. Then next one is the xerophytes is there. Xerophytes are the group of the plants which are found in the xeric condition. Xeric condition means what? The plants are found in the desert area where water is comparatively less. So such group of the plants are known as the xerophyte. And these xerophytes are divided into two groups, two types. That is, the first type is that is the first type of the xerophyte is the succulent xerophyte, and the next one is the non-succulent xerophytes. The first group of the plant or first type of the xerophyte is that is succulent xerophyte. Name indicates that, just like I told you, in the xerophytes water is less in the environment and water is less in the plant. So xerophyte, that is succulent xerophyte, are the group of the plants where water is absent in the environment, but plant have the capacity to stores the water in their body. So these plants stores the water in their body. So they are known as the succulent xerophytes. And unique example of this succulent xerophyte is that these succulent xerophytes are the aloe vera, well known example is there, or Eichhornia is there, or Euphorbia is there. These are the different types of the example. When we take the example of aloe vera, what are the adaptive character for surviving in this area as a xerophytic plant? That is, main character of this aloe vera is that the water is present inside the leaves. That is, leaves have the water storing tissue, and root system is well developed. Water stores in the inside the leaves, and root system is well developed. Root absorbs the more water, so root system is properly developed. These are the characters. Or when we take the example of Aponcia have the unique characters in the xerophyte. That is, the well-known example is there. These Aponcia have the leaf-like stem is there. That is, stem is converted into the leaf-like structure, which is known as the phylloclad. That is, stem looks like as a leaf. Actually, it looks like, actually they are it is the stem, but it looks like as a leaf, which is known as the phylloclad. And when they are decorated, or they are provided with the leaves, these leaves are as like the spines. So leaves are as like the spines. Those spines are present on the phylloclad. So these are the adaptive character, and it prevents the loss of the water. It stops the loss of the water. Such type of the character is there. Then next group of the plant is the halophytes. Halophytes are the group of the plants which are surviving in the saline water, near to the saline water, or plants those are found near to the sea beach. So such plants have the such group of the plants, those are present in the area where there is the salinity of water, water logging condition is there, and in this area these plants are found there. Particularly when we take the examples of the mangroves are there. So these mangroves are showing the different types of the characters. That is, plant height is very large, and this plant survives by showing the vivipary. Means when the plant having the or develops in the on the plants, when there is the development of the fruit, then these seeds start to develops or germinate when they are present inside the fruit. they are known as the vivipary. This is the adaptive character. Why such thing is happens there? That is when the seeds are falls down, when seeds may falls down, when they comes in contact with the water logging condition is there. So what may happens? That is in future these all seeds may spoil and next generation may be stopped. Plant growth may be stopped. So to avoid such problem, the plant seeds germinate when they are present in the fruits, and then it falls down and again they start to germinate. This is the adaptive character. One more thing, leaves are roots are negatively geotrophic. Negatively geotrophic means what? Away from the soil. Generally roots are towards the soil, positively geotrophic. But here in case of halophytes, roots are negatively geotrophic. Such type of the roots are known as the nematophores, that is the respiratory roots, or they are known as the false root. Why? That is the roots where they are, when they are, if the roots are going towards the soil, then what may happen? Due to the water logging condition, such root may be locks or they may be blocks by the water, and because of that what may happen? That is the respiration of the roots may stop. So to avoid such problem, roots are grows towards the soil, which is known as the negatively, they are away from the soil, so they are known as the negatively geotrophic, and they are growing above the soil towards the sun, so they are negatively geotrophic, that is nematophores are there. It is one type of the adaptation. So these are the different types of the groups of the plants. They have the different types of the examples of this one. So for today it is sufficient for the today's lecture, that is the syllabus of the S.Y.B.Sc. Botany. Thank you very much.